If Juventus were to start off the Club World Cup on a positive note, they certainly had the chance to do so against competition that were not exactly deemed anywhere close to the best in the tournament. There's the big showdown with an English giant at the end of the group stage, but the final fixture of Matchday 1 was Juve's first opportunity to show some intent in the United States. It didn't take long Wednesday night to do just that. Within the opening 30 minutes at Audi Field, Juventus had already run out to a 3-goal lead. The Bianconeri, albeit in their brand-new all-blue away kit, didn't take their foot off the gas despite that early lead, with Randall Kolo Muani securing a first-half brace to go along with goals from Francisco Conceição and Kenan Yildiz to put Juve up 4-0 going into halftime. It was all they needed to open their Club World Cup campaign with a 5-0 victory over UAE side Al-Ain, with Conceição also claiming a brace before the final whistle was sounded. It was an incredibly efficient night in front of goal for a Juve side that, as we know all too well from the Serie A season, is something we haven't been able to say all too often of late. Juventus recorded 4 shots on target in the first half. They scored 4 goals in the first half. That's what we call efficiency, folks. The catch in all of this, of course, is that 4 of Juventus' 5 goals were scored by players who are still on loan at the club and may not even be a part of next season's roster if something can't be worked out later this summer. We know Juventus want to keep Kolo Muani and that there are certainly talks to come in the next few weeks. Conceição, though, is a hard situation to read. So much of the first few weeks of the Igor Tudor era was filled with him barely playing, but now? It's hard to say, and it's not like Juventus couldn't use a player with his trickiness and creativity on the roster come the start of the 2025-26 campaign. And against Al-Ain, they most definitely were 2 of the driving forces, along with the ever-present Yildiz, of Juve building their big first-half lead that allowed them to relatively cruise in the second half on an incredibly muggy night. Yes, the competition level is not what Juventus will see the rest of the way in the Club World Cup, especially if they are to make it into the knockout rounds like just about everybody is predicting them to do. This was always going to be the situation when we saw the group schedule announced, and Juventus got 2 incredibly winnable games within the span of a few days, with Manchester City laying in wait for the group stage finale. But Juventus did what they couldn't do against a lot of the lower-level competition in Serie A this season when facing Al-Ain. Both win and put plenty of distance between themselves and the competition. It's a good first step at the Club World Cup, and winning by 5 goals certainly helps the old goal differential if it will potentially come down.